I turned my friend's depression into a campus comedy routine. I walked off stage to save his life. My roommate Ben was my favorite target. He was the quiet, brooding type, perfect fodder for my manic pixie dream bro routine. I was the king of the campus comedy scene, and Ben was my silent prop. When the AC broke in our dorm during a heatwave, I hosted a sweat gala in the hallway. I wore a tuxedo made of wet paper towels and forced Ben to fan me with a pizza box. People lost their minds laughing. When Ben got dumped by his girlfriend, I walked in with a boombox playing, all by myself, and threw confetti at him. The guys thought it was genius. Ben just stared at the wall, picking confetti out of his hair without a word. I was addicted to the laugh. It was a drug, and Ben was the supply. Junior year, the pressure ramped up. Finals, job fairs, the crushing weight of expectations. I deflected it all with satire. I started a campus-wide prank war. I filled the library fountains with rubber ducks. I replaced the cafeteria menus with fake existential crisis warnings. Ben was pulling away. He stopped coming to the parties. He stopped gaming. I made it a bit. Ben's entering his hibernation era. I tell the guys at the bar. He's cocooning. He'll emerge as a beautiful, depressed butterfly. The signs were screaming, and I was holding the microphone too close to hear them. He started wearing heavy hoodies in May. I roasted him in front of our entire friend group. Dude, are you smuggling hams in there? Take it off. You smell like a locker room. He just smiled. A weak, brittle thing that didn't reach his eyes. I'm always cold, he whispered. He gave me his limited edition vintage comic collection. Thousands of dollars worth of ink and paper. You'll appreciate these more, he said, placing the box on my bed. I laughed, flipping through a Spider-Man issue. What, are you dying? Can I have the PlayStation 2, or do I have to wait for the funeral? He didn't laugh. He just walked into his room and closed the door. That's when the real bombshell dropped. The Spring Talent Showcase. This was it. The biggest night of the year. 500 students, faculty, maybe even a scout from the city comedy clubs. I had a new tight 10. The subject? Living with a ghost. It was all about Ben. I walked on stage to thunderous applause. I felt invincible. The spotlight blinded me, hot and white. I launched into the set. My roommate is so invisible. The motion sensors in the bathroom don't even work for him. He sits in the dark. The crowd roared. He sleeps so much. I checked his pulse yesterday just to see if I needed to pay rent alone. Laughter. Rippling, heavy laughter. He's so sad. He apologized to our toaster for burning the bread. I looked toward the wing where Ben usually stood to watch. Empty. I looked at the front row reserved for friends. Empty seat. I checked my phone, which I use for my notes app. One new message. Sent 3 a.m. You were always the funny one, Danny. Thanks for the laughs. I'm sorry I ruined the bit. The silence hit me harder than any heckler. I stood there, the mic sweating in my hand. The crowd was waiting for the punchline. I looked at the text again. Ruined the bit. I remembered the long sleeves hiding his arms. The giveaway of the comics. The sleeping to avoid being awake. My vision blurred. The spotlight felt like an interrogation lamp. I didn't do a mic drop. I dropped my persona. I whispered into the mic. He wasn't sleeping. He was hiding. I walked off stage mid-set. The drama teacher tried to stop me, grabbing my arm. Danny, you're killing. Go back out there. Get off me. I snapped, shoving past her. I ran to the dorms. My lungs burned. The door was locked. I kicked it in. Splinters flew. Ben was on the floor. An empty bottle of pills. A half-drunk bottle of vodka. Silence. I didn't crack a joke. I screamed. I did CPR until my ribs ached and the paramedics physically pulled me off his chest. He survived. Barely. 2 weeks in the ICU. 3 months in a psychiatric facility. When I finally visited him, the silence was heavy. I sat in the plastic chair, desperate to fill the air with a quip, a pun, anything to stop the reality from settling in. But I looked at his wrists, bandaged and raw. I looked at the hollows of his cheeks. I realized I hadn't been making him laugh. I had been drowning out his cry for help with my own applause. He looked at me, voice raspy and broken. Why didn't you ask, Danny? Why did you just make jokes? I thought if you were laughing, you were okay. I stammered. I wasn't laughing, he said. You were. That sentence haunts me at 3 a.m. He was screaming in bold text, and I was editing it for a punchline. I don't do comedy anymore. I work in crisis counseling now, because I learned the hard way that sometimes, the loudest laughter is just covering up the quietest goodbye. So tell me, is your funny friend actually happy, or are they just performing for you?